Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Live from the virtual Daytona International Speedway, it's a season opener of the Average Joe's Sim Racing League here live on Green Flag TV. Welcome everyone, my name is Derek Watson. I have Christian Hill down in the booth pressing all the buttons. And we are here, as I said, for the season opener and the series opener for the Average Joe's Sim Racing League. Welcome in, as right now we are in the midst of finishing the qualifying format here of this season opener. Well, here we are. It's Daytona. It's the quintessential NASCAR track. Nothing new I could teach you. Nothing new you're going to learn tonight. But you're going to see some great, exciting racing action all night long here on Green Flag TV. Well, if you're new to the channel, welcome in. We're glad to see all of our new viewers here along. And for this racing league, it's a full field, 35 plus attempted to qualify for the race. And the top 35 are locked in. And everyone else, the other 20 plus drivers, are attempting to go through a heat race to lock in the rest of the race. Before we get into tonight's racing action, I want to go ahead and say thank you to our race sponsor, which is the Rabbit Hole Podcast 175. Tonight's race is brought to you by the Down the Rabbit Hole Podcast, available on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. You can head on over to rabbitholepodcast.com and check the guys out as they discuss a variety of topics from politics, racing, conspiracy theories, and everything in between. The shows will include guest appearances with a panel of self-proclaimed experts. Come on down the rabbit hole if you dare. Here we are lining up here around Daytona. And we'll go through the field as we get a chance here and see what's happening on track. Then we're going to take a peek in here to a portion of this heat race and see how this race is going. We'll see some cars on pit road. Here's part of the drafting pack here. That's part of this 5-lap heat race. Remember I said there's 20 plus drivers trying to lock their way in here. So here now we see a few of the drivers on track. See a 5-car line right here. Now, this is the front of the pack. This is Fred Chase in front, Russell Heaton, Ron Milan, Brian Cook, and Aaron Ingersoll. Your top 5. Now, if these drivers want to stay in line right now and be happy, these 5 would lock into the race. That's how many we're taking from the heat is 5. So this is the final laps. This is the lap to run. This will determine who's 35th, 36th, 37th, 8th, 9th, and 40th. And at the line, there's a close battle for 37th and 38th and 9th, pardon me. And we'll wait and see how that is scored when all is said and done. Well, a lot of drivers now kind of getting their final comments in to kind of figure out who may or may not be making this first race of the season. A lot of names not going to make it today. Take you through a few of them. Brad Gee, Kevin Burns, Corey Marshall, Diego Burrell, Andrew Davis, Austin Hicks, Alex Thompson, Blake Ward, Travis Hunt, Jeffrey Petty, and more will not make the cut for the first race of the season. So from here, the drivers will get one last 5-minute warm-up with the starting grid. The grid is set. Now they'll get to go out and have a moment here and kind of just get comfortable. So let's do this here. Let's wait and see how the grid's going to work itself out. Let's go ahead and talk to for a second, if we can, a couple of the drivers and see how they're feeling about tonight's race. I'm going to pick a couple at random here and see who we can find. I'm just going to wait and grab a couple interviews here at the moment while I get this warm-up set. Race control is going over final driver instructions, so I don't want to interrupt that with the drivers. I'll let them get that moment in as race control is going to talk to them. So, of course, here it is, Daytona, the oval track, the super speedway that every person, if you're an oval racing fan, you wake up and you dream about winning out with this Daytona 500, the Daytona 24, the Coke 400, the Pepsi 400, the Firecracker 400, whatever that summer race has been called in your era of NASCAR fandom. This is where every kid wants to win. For baseball fans, it's a World Series. For NFL fans, it's a Super Bowl. For hockey, it's a Stanley Cup. For NASCAR, it's Daytona. Once again, welcome back here into the booth. Myself, Derek Watson, hanging out with again Christian Hill, pressing the buttons behind the scenes, making all the action happen. So right now, as we said, drivers getting instructions from race control. We're here for the rabbitholepodcast.com 175. We're going to open this season at Daytona. This is a long season, many races planned out by the admins. This is a unique league. This is a league that only allows up to 2,000 iRating. That's the cap. So a lot of leagues may be focused on 2,000 and up. This one said, no, we want to be a development league. We want to go 2,000 and down. And that's what they're going to do, is they're going to have those drivers in here who maybe want to learn about iRacing. We've got everyone from experienced drivers to brand new to the service. So this is a great moment for anyone to get practice. So if you're curious about it, you look up Average Joe's Sim Racing League on Facebook as one of their many outlets, and you can get more information on that as well. Do want to say as well, hope you hang out in the YouTube chat tonight. There'll be lots of commentary, I'm sure, for the viewers in there, reading on their favorite drivers. So we'll wait and see who is in there, maybe who gets the most fan support, and we'll see if we can get some awesome interactions in there. Well, let's go ahead and take a moment here, and I'm going to catch up with one of the drivers who I believe did not make the race and do a quick interview. And let's go ahead and welcome in to the booth Blake Ward, who unfortunately did not make it through the qualifying process. So Blake, welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth.
Hello.
Unfortunately, it sounds like you did not make the race tonight. What was that heat race like?
It was very hectic for sure. We knew it would be. But yeah, we had all the Gulf Coast guys start like right in the middle of the pack, which was really cool because we were pushing pretty hard together to get up to the front, but just didn't work out for the most of us.
Well, so now you're not going to make the race tonight, so you're kind of one race down before we head into next week. So looking back, is there anything you kind of wish had gone different or a different plan for next week?
I mean, to be honest, if anything's going to happen at any track, I'd rather it be Daytona because I feel like it's just kind of out of my hands regardless. But a lot of the other tracks we see on the calendar put a little bit more skill into it, I feel, so I'm not too pressed.
All right, well, listen, I know that you're an avid tennis player. I know you hate pickleball, but more than that,
oh yeah,
I'm sure you hate missing Daytona.
Man, I gotta be real with you. I'm not an oval purist. You know me, I'm an IMSA guy. I'm kind of here for the fun of it. I don't see the appeal of Daytona as much, but I'm looking forward to the shorter tracks for sure. I feel a lot more comfortable there.
Well, thank you for your time tonight. Hopefully we get to talk to you next week and have a fun week.
Absolutely. Hope you guys have a good one.
Thank you. That is Blake Ward, one of the drivers who unfortunately did not make the race this evening. Race festivities are ending, pre-race festivities rather, are ending on track right now. Driver introductions and the anthem is playing over the stadium speakers. So we're only just minutes away from that very infamous command we all wait for to start those engines. Well, the grid is set. 40 drivers is the count. And going all the way from 1st to 40th, they will on the grid. They'll line up here 20 rows deep at Daytona. I think we are ready to go and take a look at the Rabbit Hole Podcast 175 starting grid. Wait for that to pop up here on the screen. We'll see Trenton Bestgrove's name at the top of the list when it does. He is our pole sitter, and it's going to be a very tight margin you'll see down the field as these activities happen. So once again, if you are new to Green Flag TV, welcome in. We're going to put on a great show for you and hope you do enjoy it. And we'll be here every week live for the Average Joe's Sim Racing League. I believe now we are finally ready to show tonight's starting grid. There it is. Let's take a look at the top. Your leader at 5, Terrence Murphy is on the top of the list, with Tyler Smith on the outside of the 1 car. Richard Wilson and Akiri King Wright takes up 3rd and 4th in row 2, with Steve Blevins and Samuel Reed back in row 3, P5 and P6. Bridger Webb's in 7th with Michael Harrington in P8. Austin Norris in P9 with Larry Blair in P10. And then Paul Pfeffer and Brian Matthews round out row 6, 11th and 12th. Joshua Holtz on the inside of Art Milne for 13th, 14th. Trenton Bestgroves in 15th with Michael Weaver in 16th. Ryan Castleberry and Mike Straminsky, 17th and 18th. This is row 9. Back in row 10, Jonathan Dominic with Danny Jackson, 19th and 20th. Blake Hewlett and Austin Guerrero, P21 and 22, with Douglas Ivey and John Milnes rounding out your top 24. Now we're going to get back to the back half of the grid here. Gregory Drace and Todd Ingersoll Jr. is 25th, 26th, with Jonathan Proctor and Justin Day right behind them. And then Joshua Jane and Mike Presley round out your top 30. Moving on back through the field, Jacob Bagley and Clark Jarfster is in 32nd, with Justin McCurdy and Dan Abrams 33rd and 34th. Russell Heaton Jr. is 35th, with Fred Chase in 36th. And then our last cars here on the grid, I do believe 37, 38, 39, and 40. That's Russell Heaton Jr., Brian Cook, Ron Malam, and Aaron Ingersoll. Any drivers behind that were part of the heat races that did not make the race. We'll let those names scroll on through, and you'll see there Austin Hicks, Andrew Davis, Andrew Thompson, Blake Ward, who we talked to, didn't make it. Travis Hunt, Jeffrey Petty, Ken Jones, Robert McKay, Jay Rush, our league admin, unfortunately, did not make the race tonight. Josh Revel, Roger Thomas, Austin Oliver, Brian Gay, and Tony McDaniel was a 59-car field that did not make this race. So here we are going down the back straight at Daytona. Lights on the pace car off. There you see the track conditions. 42 degrees Celsius is going to be the track temp for those who want to know it in Fahrenheit. That's going to be about 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So a fairly warm track here on the day. So we'll wait and see if that has any effect, maybe how these cars are able to move around the track here. But we are ready to get going here at Daytona. Well, once again, if you're a new viewer or if you're new, well, everyone's new to this league. This is race number 1. So here we go. The Average Joe's Sim Racing League wants to put on a great show, and we're going to present it live here on Green Flag TV. The pace car is down, and now it's in the hands of Terrence Murphy. We'll wait for the green flag. There it is. We are green at Daytona. Okay, they come out in turn number 2. That top lane has a bit of a run, and they think they're going to push ahead a little bit. Akari King Wright is that white and blue car at the top of your screen. Has 1, 2, 3 cars here on the bottom. Wait and see if they want to make the move down. And you see right there, a couple of them did. Remember, here's the battle now on back. You see one car stuck to the top, but King Wright, Seymour Reed in line together, and they are pushing on around. riding on board with Terrence Murphy in the 5. Your pole sitter is going to run P3 on the first lap at Daytona. Now you better check the leaderboard on the left side of your screen to find out where your favorite drivers are all night long. Different spots move up and down. It's a 70 lap race around Daytona. That means we'll need to make at least one pit stop if this race stays green all the way, and maybe more if that's not the scenario. Now looking on back, look at the gaggle of cars from Terrence Murphy. He's going to see this cars too wide, mostly the bottom lane. You'll see a few cars trying to work the top lane, but lots of gaps here in this line. If any lane, top or bottom, wants to be dominant, they're going to have to close up those gaps and make things work here. And you see that mellow yellow machine up in the top lanes trying to get a bump from that white and blue car. And this time Akari King Wright leads again here. Samuel Reed, the fastest lap. That'll be indicated on purple on your leaderboard as we now begin lap number 3 here. So right now it's King Wright, Reed, Murphy, Wilson, and Bridger Webb, your top 5. Fun story up Bridger Webb, by the way. You see that car back 4th in line at the bottom, that bright goldish looking car. That is a sponsored car by Liquid Smoke Iced Tea. Bridger Webb won a contest where he gets to have his real life everyday car painted that same exact way for 1 year. Won himself a $30,000 contract with Liquid Smoke. I think a year's supply of Liquid Smoke and a few other benefits as well. He has his own merch that they offered him. So he's running an iRacing car identical to what if you saw him on the road every day, he's going to work, going to the grocery store, the restaurant, whatever, that's what his car looks like. The 51 of Stephen Blevins is up top in that mellow yellow machine here. And see, everyone's just kind of riding along. A lot more patience than I was thinking we would see here in the first 4 laps. Everyone's just kind of riding along. No big aggressive bumps, no big aggressive side drafts, at least towards the front here. It's happy to say those is how things are going. There's a car that moved up briefly. That's the 5. We were riding on board with Terrence Murphy. He went up and back down. That gave a bit of a run to Blevins. Maybe a bit of a draft, and I think Murphy's undecided about what he wants to do, which lane he wants to pick. But now the lanes are breaking up. Now we're going to see a battle here up front, because now it's going to be Samuel Reed, and he is going to now try to take the lead. And by using that lane, it moves back down and clears himself. And at least for the moment here on the back street, unofficially new leader is Samuel Reed. I once again want to say hello to everyone in the YouTube chat. Thanks for hanging out, and glad to see you guys supporting your favorite driver. We'll be monitoring that as the night goes on and maybe grabbing some comments from there. But this time by, it looks to be Blevins now to the front. Blevins moved up to the front here. It's going to be Blevins, King Wright, Murphy, Samuel Reed, Richard Wilson. So I'm sure every time this night we look up and down the field, we look up and down the top 5, we're going to see different names involved in these battles. As we take a look here through the field, it's roughly about the first 25 cars that are all close in range, and first through about 25th within 2 seconds of one another. You see that first pack there, that's separated by about 1 second. And there's Blevins off the track, coming back up, through the grass, barely got a small bump there. And he's going to fall back quickly. Look at Blevins falling down the list safely, I might add, in a very advisable way. Gets on track here. Going to lose a lot of time. Going to lose the draft, but caused no yellow on lap 6. There's something to be said for the skill involved in the decision-making of Stephen Blevins. Moving back up front now, back in P6 is Richard Wilson, one of the cars we're following here at the front battles. Puts Terrence Murphy, by the way, up to the front in that 5 machine. Tyler Smith now up to 2nd. Now he's up to 1st in that one car. That one car is currently sitting P1 here. Down the back street. See lots of movement up and down. That top lane looks to be a little better connected, not as many gaps there. And I'm curious to see if they can make that work. You see top being pushed around here. That white and blue machine. No, there's some big wiggles behind in that top lane that's making me nervous, but everyone's got it still gathered up here. Beginning to work lap number 8 here. We're more than 10% way done with this race at Daytona. So that is the one car, Tyler Smith, that white balloon machine. He's at the big gap here. He's trying to get caught back up to Richard Wilson in P4. And if they can do that, Smith might even give himself a big run, able to kind of make a jump to the outside. Now he's looking to close that gap here. We'll see if he gets patient. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably 10 cars single file before we get back to double file racing. You see a couple cars trying to make the top work. No one's currently patient enough. I think that patience word is going to be a key for the night, because if you want to make that top lane work, it takes patience and finesse, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of patience, a little bit of doing a great teamwork. Otherwise, the simpler answer is to move to the bottom lane and see if you can make that work. P17's Art Milne, you see that there. P20, Brian Matthews, as we begin to look back through the field here at Daytona. You see Matthews here getting past and kind of get back in line. Looks like that number 81 machine. Now, we hinted earlier, there's a bunch of cars all in this group together. It's P22 right behind Matthews. Hold on, caution's out. Heard a big wrecking call. There it is. You see the pack, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars involved. We'll wait and see what the epicenter of this wreck was, but for the first time on lap 9, oh, that's one of your leaders, Akari King Wright. Oh boy, almost got rear-ended. That's the fatal dark gray smoke coming from the back of that car. So we'll wait and see what happened. Now, in this league, everyone gets 2 fast repairs. So Akari King Wright is not done. You see him rushing down pit road. He's going to try and get that damage repaired. And then we'll see if he can get maybe back in this race and be involved in the lead a little bit later on. Let's take a look at the replay and see what may happen in this wreck. There's the Akari King Wright a little bit off the top, getting some really wild bumps for that car behind. And then you see everyone just kind of got sideways and wiggly and oosey-goosey and everything else. And the King Wright got doored again, and I suspect he might get, well, no, I think that's it. I thought maybe he was going to get one more there, but he did not, unfortunately. So I think that was going to be a couple calls. There's a couple late hits there involved. So race control will take a look at this. They'll try to find the source of the wreck, but it's going to be right here on board. It's just some off-center bumps right here. 1, 2, and I think third time, nope, 4th time's the charm. Sends that car up the wall, and then everything kicks off from here. That's going to be the 56 car, by the way, that we saw making the contact there. And unfortunately, you know, one of the hardest skills at Daytona is those very calm, even bumps in the back when you're doing a bump round. You really have to be careful about those bumps there, because you will get someone kind of wiggly, and then from there, you get around sideways and everything just kind of kicks off. So pit stop's underway. Lap 11, you suspect to see everyone coming down, at least putting gas in. I would suspect likely putting tires on, at least 2 tires on as well. Tires not the most important factor with the current version of Daytona's modeled in iRacing, but if you're going to put the gas in, you might as well go ahead and put the tires on as well. At least 2 tires, I would think, and have some new tires. Oh, you see there, the 56, that's the left side's up, so he may have went 4 tires on that stop, as pit stops happened at Daytona. This again is the first caution of the night, and it went a long run here overall. Went 1 to 10% of the race before the first wreck kicked. And now we're going to see from the back of the pace car, we'll take a look at Terrence Murphy, Larry Blair, Paul Peffer, Michael Weaver, and Poshwa Jane in your top 5. Well, let's do this. Let's see if we can get a word from someone who was involved in that wreck. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a word with former leader Akari King Wright. Welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Akari, it looked like it's maybe a couple of bad bumps in the back end got your car a little loose there.
Yeah, it was just 2 people. I think the car behind me tried to get me to come back in, but it was just the car behind him was shoving him, and it's just 2 cars coming together with nowhere to go. And I tried to save it on the bottom there and just didn't get it.
So, of course, 2 fast repairs in the race, so you're not done, but of course, you're going to be at the back here after getting those repairs done. So, you know, we're already 11, 12 laps into a 70-lap race. So, do you feel the need to be aggressive here, or what's the plan?
I mean, being aggressive has to come here, but it's also not getting into another thing. So I've only got one left, and I just got to find my teammates in the front and hook up and take it all the way to the win.
Okay, well, hopefully we can talk to you later in Victory Lane. We'll put you back down with your Sky Motorsports teammates and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
That is Akari King, was involved in that first incident, and he hopes not to be involved in any more this evening. Well, the lights on the pace car are out here at Daytona, currently working lap 12. So again, it's Murphy, Blair, Pfeffer, Weaver, Payne, and Smith, your top 5. And you see the cars in the back. There's Akari King right working his way to the back of the field. So he'll have to come from what used to be first, now back to 40th, up to first again, to see if he can win this race. Lots of comments in the chat from different drivers. See some support from the 66, the 45, and others. So I do want to say thank you to everyone again for hanging out there. Scott Clayton's in the chat, Haley Blackwell, Scott Case, and Chris Nichols, and others. So thank you for your support. So these are the biggest movers of the race so far. In the bottom right of your screen, you see Russell Heaton Sr. up 29 spots. Posh with Jane 24, Justin McCurdy. Justin McCurdy just won his first official NIS race at Kansas a couple weeks ago. So coming off of that big win for him, he's up 19 spots. Todd Ingersoll Jr. and others here on the board. Oh, Russell Heaton Jr. is in the race as well. Sorry, that's where my mind was lost for a second. It's senior and junior. So that's cool to see father and son in the race together. Maybe we see if we can get a comment from them later and see what it's like racing father and son together. Well, for the second time tonight, the pace car is down off the track. Green flag is out. Barnett and Flagman vigorously waving the green flag. This time by so far, Paul Pfeffer got himself a bit of a lead there at the front. You see that big gap. My suspect is Blair, Weaver, and Poshwood, Jane, and others are going to quickly close that gap and maybe use that big draft to get on around him. Because if you leave that big a gap, you're sort of that sitting duck that we talk about at Super Speedway so often. And now you see cars moving up the track. That was second lane forming on the top side, pardon me. And that, I believe, is going to be Larry Blair, I think, on the top side. And others falling on back. Tyler Smith's back there, the metal yellow car. Others on back. So that's Joshua Payne up top there, that black and white car. And that's a Chevrolet, by the way. And that car, it's got Tyler Smith behind him in the metal yellow car and others. And they're trying to make this move here. So I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to see if they can find a way to use a little bit of side draft, a little bit of patience, some bump drafting, and maybe not, because here they go up to the front. That Chicago White Sox Chevy. Poshwood Jane is trying to lead. He's going to get a bit of a help here from Tyler Smith. This will be a race back to the line more than likely. But Terrence Murphy and others not willing to give it up on the bottom. See some beautiful 2-wide racing. These guys are racing 2x2 like the ants marching in here out of turn 4 at Daytona. So Murphy does lead the lap, but all is not lost. See a bit of a move up and down the hill from Murphy. That may prove problematic, even if there's no contact made by Murphy. It helps slow down that draft a little bit. I think that's how the top lane's able to kind of keep up there and keep peeking their nose to the front here. So there's a beautiful, long, wide shot here at Daytona. You see the whole field here is pretty much connected. Get there by 2 seconds, all the way back to at least P30 on my scoring board. See them all connected. Being told by green flag TV admins, hold on, we'll come back to that. Caution's out for the second time. It's going to be in the back. The field do not see the wreck instantly, but I hear the caution call from race control. I don't see, oh, being told maybe Brian Cook is involved. We'll wait and see what may have happened. No big smoke I can find on the track unless I'm missing something. So we'll wait and see. I did want to say I've been told by Green Flag TV admins we have officially broken the record for largest viewing audience on one of our live broadcasts. So thank you everyone for hanging out in the YouTube chat and making that happen. Corey Marshall's in the chat, Aaron Jackson, and others. So thank you for that. We're going to wait and see when the replay machine loads up here. Find out what may have happened to bring the second yellow out here on lap 16. Here comes replay. Let's take a look. Watch that. Oh, right in the middle of the 87. Got spun. Got the hook on the back end. And then really overall, that could have been way worse. A lot of credit to all these drivers. That could have been incredibly worse and scarier than it was. It's going to be by the 13 who's going to make contact with him. Boy, look at that ride. Well, there's our sponsor card, the Rabbit Hole Podcast, down the Rabbit Hole Podcast, and 87 up in the wall. That'll, you know what? I'm curious. It depends on how much damage he did to the right side of the car. He may not need to use a fast repair yet. He might be able to limp that car around. Those fast repairs are like gold at Daytona. You never want to use them unless you have to. You never know what's going to happen next. But let's watch on board here. What's going to happen is it's 13 thinks there's a hole. Oh, it gets below the yellow line. Never mind. Boy, oh boy, it's got down there and made a move, and just going to be ill-advised. That's going to be, by the way, the 13. That is Jacob Bagley, who made the move on the 87, which is Brian Cook. Oh, for the second time tonight, the caution is out due to a wreck here at Daytona. Working lap 17 live here on Green Flag TV. So Tyler Smith has made his way up to the front, by the way. And then from there, let's take a look on through your top 5. It's going to be, should be Terrence Murphy up front, actually, is what, we have a discrepancy in what iRacing is telling me and what's happening. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Todd Ingersoll Jr. is up there, Ryan Castleberry, John Miles, and Michael Harrington, your top 5 on track, as iRacing is fibbing to me a little bit here. So let's take a minute here and see who we can catch up with under this caution here. Let's see if we can find Tyler Smith. There he is. Let's go ahead and take a second and talk with our current race leader. This will be Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith, welcome to the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Tyler, you're in the lead?
I'm sorry, what was that? My spotter was talking.
Oh, that's what guys are saying. Hey, you're in the lead. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's I want to stay up here. I don't want to get back there in the mess, so hopefully I can stay up here and just keep it clean.
So far, I mean, we've, almost 20 laps in, only 2 cautions. So is that promising? Does that make you feel comfortable about the racing so far, or what's the game plan moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be too bad. It gets a little squirrely sometimes, but I mean, to be honest, everybody's kept it pretty clean. I expect it to get wild. Probably around lap 60, 10 to go-ish. I expect it to get pretty wild, so we'll see.
So obviously, kind of a different format tonight. We let lots of drivers come in. Some drivers had to kind of get through that last-minute qualifying, the 5-lap heat. That's what I'm looking for. You qualified second, though, so obviously a little less stress not having to do that, right?
Oh, for sure. I had no idea what type of qualifying time I needed, and yeah, I'm more than happy with second. So I did not want to, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to do the heat race because that would be pretty fun, but I'm glad I didn't have to do the heat race.
All right, well, listen, good luck the rest of the night. We'll put you back down with your Highline Racing teammates and wish you the best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that is Tyler Smith. And get him out of the broadcast booth here. Technology is fighting with me pretty hard here. There you go. All right, well, so far, lots of good racing happening. We've had a couple of incidents and a couple of cautions, but pretty solid racing all around so far. So Smith, Ingersoll, Castleberry, Miles, and Harrington, top 5 here. Whereas this Daytona racetrack's gone through lots of updates and improvements through over time. It's been resurfaced a few times. Of course, this iteration on iRacing is way less bumpy than the original scan iRacing had back in 2008. So these drivers must be thrilled about that with these next-gen cars. If you're going to get a good arm workout, I suggest you go to the Daytona 2008 in iRacing. Turn your force feedback up a little bit, not too far, by the way, and you'll get all the arm workout you want to get in a day. All right, well, Payet's car is down for the first time tonight. The field's going to be in the hands of Tyler Smith. It's going to be Ingersoll on the outside. Green flag is out. Smith gets the jump, getting a bit of a push from behind. That's going to be from Ryan Castleberry. And boy, again, for the second time, the leaders put more of a gap up in the field than I would feel comfortable with, but we'll see how that plays out as this run goes on. New leader up front here as Ingersoll now trying to make the move, trying to pull the Dale Jr. Wants to lead both lanes. This looks good, scary. Almost got a bump from the 69. That's John Miles up top with that bright blue number at the top of that car. I was not sure that was going to work because I thought for sure there may have been a bad bump happening there. There's the liquid smoke iced tea car in the back. There's a few other cars we'll talk about as the night goes on, up and down the field, working now lap 19 of 70. On back, you can see how both long and close this field is, right? That's a long line of cars on back, but keep that in mind. Remember, they're all separated about 2 seconds a time. It's all it takes first to last in this strapping line to cross the same marker of the track. Here comes a run up top. It's going to be John Miles. Needs to maybe tap that brake a little bit, get back on there with Bridger Webb and see if they can get an actual bump draft moving and make something happen. That big gap you see right there from that back end camera up top, that's what's going to hurt that top line. But here it comes. Here comes Bridger Webb, and for the third time, the caution is out at Daytona. You saw the pace car there on the bottom of the screen. The pace car's already been deployed. It'll catch the front of the field eventually here. Wait and see what's going to be the reason. That's a car with a number upside down on the top of that car. Don't know if that's supposed to be the 14 or the 41, but those numbers are upside down. There's the 24. That's a good look at that car. Nice white car with some very light blue. Interesting designs on it. We're going to take us a moment to find the moment of caution and wait and see if our replay machine can spool up anything. I do want to thank you once again for hanging out in the chat here and viewing along here with us. Well, let's see. We're going to get a couple replays, see if we can find the source of replay here. See if we can find maybe what brought this yellow out. Put up our first replay. Let's look up front here. This has been about third or fourth in line. These two cars side by side. We'll go on back, looking at Mountain Dew machine on outside the Busch Light beer. They're going to be 3 wide, limited contact, but that looks okay. Nothing happened there. It was too scary. Wait and see what happens. We had a hard time spotting. Didn't see any big puffs of smoke, so it may have just been like a single car spin that caused the yellow here. But let's take a look. There's the black and green car coming up on the Mountain Dew machine. And I, so far, think maybe we don't have the source of caution. Wait and find out here. Sometimes they're hard to spot on this big track, and we'll wait and see what may have caused it. Thinking this may be the source. Thinking maybe we started the lap early. We'll just kind of follow along here, kind of enjoy some of the race in the back of the field. See a nice star there on the top of the 34 machine. Get the 4 to the inside. The Mountain Dew car's also on the outside. Let's watch here as they come out of the back straight. Come up on the moment of caution here. There's a couple cars checking up. Cars moving around. All right, so I don't think this is going to be our source of caution. So it may be one of those mysteries we have to solve a little bit later, maybe come back to, but I don't think we're going to get the point of caution. No, there. Oh, there it is. There it is. bit of contact between that black and green car and the 4 on the outside is your moment of caution. Well, now we know why we're under caution here for the 3rd time at Daytona this evening. In this league, I do want to point out, if race control does deem you are the point of caution the first time, you are sent to the back of the line as a penalty for causing the caution and slowing down the racing action. So you'll notice that throughout the evening, different drivers going up and down the field. And I actually see we have a Austin Guerrero in the 45 car in our green room, if you will. Now this is a driver. This is a driver that's had some requests from the YouTube chat for us to talk to all night long. You're in that Rhea Ripley machine, Austin. You are popular in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Most of the people are from PS5 League I still run with. And shout out to my wife watching also. I appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here, racing along with us, kind of watching on board here. Now, talk to us. I guess we'll go off topic a little second here while under caution. Obviously, you see Rhea Ripley in the front of your car. Talk to us a little bit about the Rhea Ripley fandom. Why Rhea Ripley? Why is that your favorite? Maybe if not your favorite wrestler, the one you've put on the front of your car.
She's definitely my favorite. Even when people didn't like her, I was a fan of her. She pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, I guess.
More of a fan of current day Rhea Ripley, maybe post Judgment Day, or more of early Rhea Ripley back with the blonde hair in NXT days?
Definitely post Judgment Day.
Post Judgment Day. All right. Well, Austin, listen, it's a pleasure talking to you. You're currently running P6. What's the plan for the rest of the night?
I'm just hoping to stay up front and keep it clean, and hopefully I don't get no bad bumps here.
Hopefully so. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the race. We'll talk to you later. Maybe we will see you in victory lane.
I'm hoping so. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. That's the number 45 driver of Austin Guerrero, sporting. That's pretty ironic, actually. Got the wrestling fan. Of course, in wrestling, the Guerreros, a very famous name. You got Eddie, Chavo, Hector, and others. And there he's got the wrestling car with Rhea Ripley, mommy, if you will, on the front of the car. Well, the pace car's got him double filed here. It's going to be Ingersoll, Smith, Miles, Bridger Webb, and Ryan Castleberry. And then Austin Guerrero, we just talked to you back in P6, working lap 23. Again, the pace car is down. So this time it's Todd Ingersoll is going to lead us around here. He's going to have the control of the field. Green flag is out. He gets a bit of a jump here and leaves way less gap. No, maybe not. He also gets a gap there. It's going to be John Miles now on behind him. They get a beautiful old tandem duo style run on the rest of the field here. Now, Tyler Smith and Moore will catch back up here pretty quickly, but that is shades of like mid to late 2000s NASCAR car of tomorrow. With that tandem run they just pulled there through 1 and 2. Oh, lots of movement up front. You see up and down. Ingersoll, Smith, Castleberry, all trying to find the optimal line. Tyler Smith got to the top, as did the 32 of Ryan Castleberry in that black machine with the yellow racing stripes. You see Austin Guerrero in that bright car with the sort of pink and purple hues to it. That's with Rhea Ripley on the front. And they are trying to move their way to the front. You want to point out Shelby Guerrero, Austin's wife, is up in the chat. Says she's proud of him for how he's racing so far, and she should be, because he's now up top. He's now getting a push from behind, and he is trying to get up there. But boy, look at that bump draft. That is literally a bump draft from the 32 to the 1. Guerrero needs the same thing from the car behind him. They're going to be side by side, nose to nose for 3 and 4. A bump drafting in the corner as that 5 car is trying his best. Terrence Murphy, see if he can push Mommy to the lead at Daytona. That time by, it is Guerrero, and he now moves down in front of Tyler Smith, hangs the 5 out a little bit here. We'll see if that maybe comes back later to play a role in the rest of the race, but the 5 will keep that in his mind. He'll know, hey, if I push the 45, what does the 45 do? It moves down. 3 wide the back of the field, by the way. Look at this battle. 3, almost 4 wide at times. And boy, they are trying to get it worked out. Up and down, below the yellow. So we think someone must have scattered for a reason there. Maybe a close call. But see that 3 wide right in the front of your screen. Boy, they're trying to get it worked out here. That's going to be a couple different cars involved. And that bottom lane's going to get a big run. Look at it, just there's 2 cars up top, the Busch Light car there in the middle, and I think the Bud Light cars, the battle of the possible beer brands there in the middle and top lanes. Light, ironically enough, hold on. This is going to be below the line. No caution yet. Oh, there it is. That's going to be the caution where the Bud Light car comes up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars involved. Finding the yellows out at Daytona. Boy, as soon as we focused on it, saw the battle of the beer cans getting up, a little bit of hops, if you will, may have been involved in that touching there. Boy, oh boy. Well, this will be a fun replay to look at here when the Green Flag TV replay machine gets spooled up. We'll wait and see. It's going to be coming right about now, right here. Watch the second in the middle line, that Busch Light car in the middle. The Bud Light car up top. And who moves where is the question, right? Oh, no, there's a bump from the bottom. The 87 of Brian Cook got in the Busch Light car. And then that's where the calamity kicked off. The 2 got involved in the back. The 12, by the way, that's the lucky recipient. He's going to skim right on through. But then up here, there's a couple hits. The 34. I think that's supposed to be the 41. We got to talk about his number on top of his car, though. Maybe it's supposed to be the 14. The 88, of course, was the Bud Light car involved. And it all kind of broke down from there. Well, I do want to again thank you for watching here live along here on Green Flag TV. Derek Watson in the commentary booth. Christian Hill pressing the buttons behind the machine. While we're under yellow, we're going to take a small commercial break. You won't miss anything live at Green Flag. We're going to go ahead and hit a commercial break. We'll be live back in a moment here on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here live at the virtual Daytona International Speedway for the Average Joe's Sim Racing League Down the Rabbit Hole Podcast 175, the opening race of this league, the season and the series all together. Seen some great racing so far. Currently we're seeing from the back of the page cards, Terrence Murphy leading the field. Mike Streminsky's moved his way up here in second, by the way. Steve Blevins third, Poshua Jane, and Todd Ingersoll Jr., your top 5. We've heard from a bunch of the drivers tonight as the pace car lights turn off. We've heard from different drivers all seem to want the same thing, which is to be up front. And I think we keep seeing why in these wrecks and these replays, because time after time, it just seems to be a small bump towards the back of the middle of the field that turns these cars on around every time. That time, by the way, the 87 was credited with the fault of the caution by race control. It has been moved to the back of the line, so Brian Cook will be starting near the back of this field when we go live racing once again. Throughout this field, you're going to find a bunch of experience, as there's your, there's Brian Cook at fault. You'll find a bunch of different experiences here across all of this field. You'll see drivers who maybe have won an Indy 500 this year. You'll see drivers who've won, half distance or full distance NASCAR races. You'll find brand new rookies to the field we're going to focus on throughout the season, and everywhere in between. We'll find just all kinds of occupations up and down the field, all kinds of different hobbyists. So lots of fun stories we want to tell throughout the season. But right now we're kicking all the action off here live at Daytona. So overall, I will say a pretty happy, jovial drivers chat that we get access to in our ears to help us guide along the race. Everyone seems to be in a good mood despite the couple of cautions. And that's always a positive start for a league in your debut, to have a field that seems to be having fun, seems to be enjoying themselves, and in a very positive, uplifting spirit here. So as we said, the lights are off, going green this time by working lap would be 31 on the green flag, nearing the halfway point. Now each time, most of the field, in fact almost the whole field pitted here this last time by, is 5th on up. McCurdy, Blevins, Payne, Streminsky, and Terrence Murphy, the only cars who didn't pit. Those are your leaders. So different fuel strategies in play as the green flag is back out. Now to turn number 2, it's going to be Steve Blevins in that mellow yellow machine, trying to get there. Some 2, almost 3 wide, racing back through the field. Lots of beating, lots of banging. Everyone so far has got it pointed forward. You see 3 wide on back. There's Bridger Webb up top, and he's trying to hold on to that car. I think he did. Yeah, he's going to get a good shot at it. And just fall back in line a little bit here. Still 3 wide back there. You see a very uniquely colored monster car here with the blue with the orange lines for the M there. That's going to be the 49 truck. That's a very uniquely painted. That's for Jonathan Dominick's very bright, colorful car. Looking back to the camera shot now, mostly back to double file or single file racing. I think drivers now maybe want to get calmed down, get in line. Just about halfway through now. From here, no one could make it on fuel. We said they pitted on 29. At most in these cars, even if you're not full throttle, you're probably looking at about 39, 40 laps on a fuel run. So they would be out right around lap 68 or so. So no one's good on gas in here. A pit stop is still required up and down the field, no matter which way you look at it. Some great racing happening here towards the front of the field. There's that Chicago White Sox car again. There's the Mountain Dew machine. Very different sets of paint schemes. Some of these are real life NASCAR mimics. Some of these are showing off their fandom for different sports teams, TV shows, wrestlers, podcasts, whatever you have. So that's one of the great advantages we have as iRacers, is that we can use our cars to pay homage or tribute or show our fandom to different things that matter to us. But this time by, we're coming on around again, and Terrence Murphy's going to take the lead at the bottom and a wreck in the back. You guys saw maybe that Tide inspired paint scheme in the back that was turned sideways there at the beginning of the tri-oval. There's the Busch Light car slow again. Not sure he's involved. We'll wait and see what the moment of caution was as we begin lap 34. And caution comes out again here at the track. That's Tennessee Volunteers orange is what I see here on that track. Boy, that's a brave move, bringing a Tennessee car down to Florida. A little SEC rivalry, fandom, hatred maybe involved in bringing a Tennessee car to Florida. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what may have caused out this caution. We'll load up the replay machine. Watch in the middle of your screen. There's that orange Tennessee car. It's going to get hooked. No, I'm not sure if he got hooked if he came up. We'd have to see maybe a different angle to find out for sure, but they definitely made contact. And right at the line, you see him still kind of sideways. Don't get down there. Oh boy. Whew. Wait, see if we get a number in that Tennessee car. It's going to be the 100 car. So that volunteer specifically is Mike Press, who is either volunteered or got voluntold to get up into that wall. But that's the second time tonight we've seen the 19 involved. That is that Busch Light car, and that 19 car is Akari King Wright. That's the car we saw up front earlier. Saw him spun around, basically out of the lead, and has had a rough night ever since then. I believe race control has made the call. They're going to deem that wreck to be on the 100 car, and maybe a little how do you do there from Akari King Wright. I noticed maybe a little close there on the pit entry, closer than you need to be under yellow. So maybe that was a small tap, kind of showing just the appropriate amount of displeasure. Boy, look at all the scuffs on the side of that car. What was a beautiful red, white, and blue machine on a oh, hello. That is a pit wall. That is deep in the pit box, if you will. Now backing up, he's gonna be too far right. Now backs it up some more. And he's gonna have to get it front end and get it right. And there he goes in the pit box. So that's a long stop, even longer. You saw he uses fast repair. That car is instantly fixed. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the second fast repair for Akari King Wright. So one more wreck, and he's going to have to live with the damage that happens as a result of it. Fortunately for Akari, kind of had to play the hokey pokey with the pit box here. Got 2 tires in, 2 tires out. Back the car up and shake the cobwebs out. That's what Akari King Wright had to do there in order to get that pit stop done correctly. See top of your screen, Mike Presley is going to be given the penalty. He is noted as the cause of the caution. He'll go to the back of the line. So that'll be a long ways back for him here at Daytona. Let's go take a look at positions. Again, on the bottom right of your screen is Aaron Ingersoll. On the bottom, 29 spots up. Posh with Jane, John, Miles, Todd Ingersoll Jr., and Russell Heaton Jr. at the top of that list. So up and down the board here, there's lots of different things happening. And of course, every time we look at that list tonight, it'll be different. It's going to be different every time. That's just the nature of what Daytona is. Well, let's go ahead and talk with one of the drivers up front here. Let's see if we can get word with our P4 driver. No, we're about to go green here. We'll make this one a little quick. Let's go ahead and welcome in Todd Ingersoll Jr. He's part of Ingersoll Racing. Get him up here in a minute. Todd Ingersoll, welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Want to welcome you in here. I know you're one to go here, so we'll make this interview quick. But how's the racing been so far?
It's been great. I've been keeping myself up front. I'm going to try to make it one more pit stop. Ingersoll Racing, we've been doing pretty good as a team. Everybody's been running up front, towards the front, and we're just looking to have a good first race here for the season.
So I know that we need to ask this question. People are going to wonder. There's yourself, obviously. Then there's Aaron Ingersoll. If any, what is the relation?
That is my little brother. I'm 34. He is 32. We've been racing together about a year now. Our dad passed away about a year ago, and we thought this would be a good bonding activity. I've been doing iRacing about 7 years. He's hopped on, so it's kind of a family thing now.
All right, well, listen, we'll let you get back to it. We know we're 1 to green, and good luck the rest of the race.
Appreciate it. You guys have a good rest of the race as well.
Appreciate that. We'll put him back down with his team here. Back with Ingersoll Racing. But it's good to see that even at that age, 32 and 34, you can still have little brothers, so to speak, right? At no age does the title little brother go away, apparently. I'm not sure how Aaron would feel about being the little brother, but a great bonding activity, right? It is pretty cool to see how iRacing sort of connects or brings bonds closer together. And in this case, for the Ingersoll family, as a way to kind of honor the loss of a loved one. Well, here we go. Green flag is back out at Daytona. Terrence Murphy leads the field on around. And see the front of the field right about here. See a big gap in the bottom lane. Expect that top lane to get a big move here. We'll see if Austin Guerrero can make that push happen. He can push Miles back on around. Man, look at that. Guerrero's just got to hold that wheel a little closer, a little straighter, and not wiggle back and forth as much, and that'll be a much better push. But here we are, 3-4 deep at the front of the field, 2 by 2. Now a push on the bottom. That's going to push Terrence Murphy even further ahead. That's Mike Strominski, by the way, up there for one of the first times tonight, pushing on the bottom lane. Now we're looking aboard that bright blue monster machine. This is Jonathan Dominics, that number 49 car, one of the Toyota drivers in the field. By the way, I should point out to you a great separation of car manufacturers at the front of the field. You've got a Ford up front, a Toyota second, Chevys third and fourth, Toyotas on back. So look at there on your screen now. You see, this is not a single manufacturer race. There's pretty well diverse up and down the top 15 or 16 cars on the track. See, this car's wiggling here, and so when you're watching it from this angle, it's easy to judge those cars moving around, right? But when you're in those cars, it is not hard to make a wiggle in a lane. It is not hard to get a wheel just to kind of slide to the left, slide to the right. And it's hard to realize you're doing it sometimes until you go back and watch the replay. You're like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? But then you'll have those moments right there and you'll kind of learn from it in those moments. But a little bit of movement at Daytona is perfectly normal. Just gonna kind of keep it under control. Then you saw the 6th car. That was Michael Harrington. He moved on down from behind Dominic. So Austin Guerrero went with him. That'll create a bit of a run on the bottom. You see the front 2 cars. It's going to be Ingersoll and Terrence Murphy. Now they've made a big move up front. You've even got Strominski behind him, and then that's when you get side by side. So these front 2 cars are pretty well ahead of the field here. Now, what I begin to wonder with this last caution that just came out here is now maybe to some drivers begin to think about, you always saw a block. That's no caution. Don't come up too soon. That's going to be a hefty block right there on that car. Wow. Wild block. See the car still trying to scatter. Oh, there's the wreck on back. Cars did not get checked up. The 88's involved. That's the Bud Light car. Again, that's Dan Adams. That's at least his second of the night, not Chevrolet. I thought maybe we had this thing saved. I thought maybe we got far enough in the back that the drivers were going to check it up and hold on to it, but is not the case here at Daytona. Let's take a look at what happens. So remember, there's a car moving back to the field trying to get his bearings together. You'll see it towards the top of your screen, and some drivers just kind of got a little spooked by it, honestly. Maybe not a big enough checkup. You'll see the contact right there that tags the Bud Light car. That's going to be, I think, the 55 or 56, that white and green machine on the bottom. And then you see everyone the cars. I mean, mostly only a 2 or 3 car wreck. Could have been way worse, but if you're Adams right there, not the news you want to see. There's the other car moving on back. Let's watch this one more time. Let's ride on board this time through the replay and see what happens here. He's barely going to get any notice this wreck's about to happen. You'll see the contact's going to come in just a moment here. Let's slow it down and kind of show that he thinks he's clear. And no. The 4 car is going to tag him, unfortunately. So that 4 car would be Clark Jafster. So that's who tagged the Bud Light car. And you'll see the spin here. You see a couple cars spun on back. But luckily, I said all things considered, I mean, 2 cars spun towards the middle of the field. There are some cars in the back that did a tremendous job checking up, and they need to be commended for such, because there's definitely been some wrecks in iRacing through different leagues and whatnot that would have been way worse than what we've seen in that moment right there. Of course, remember, this all got kicked off because that contact up front, it was the 101 car that maybe body checked that car up front, that sent him on back, that just sort of, you know, everything happened from. So these cars are going to get lined up here under caution and come on around here. And I'd started to say, I begin to wonder if some drivers were going to start to save fuel here. But you'll see more and more cars coming down pit road. This likely could be their last pit stop if they want to, because we're going to be working probably lap 44 when we go green again. That's 35, 36, maybe 37 laps to the finish. That's not that many. So actually it's less than that. Sorry, it's 20 some laps to the finish. Once again, I want to say hello to Ali Susan in the chat, Logan Cook, Shelby Guerrero, Chris Nichols, Aaron Jackson's out there. So again, I hope you guys are all out there watching your family and friends and enjoying the race here and our debut race here on Green Flag TV. This is not our only broadcast week. In fact, right soon, when this race ends, we're going to take you over to the Speed Cup Series. Our broadcast will be right into theirs on a Thursday night. We have races 6 nights a week. Saturdays is the Sim Racing Association, our NAS Classic, using the ARCA cars. Sunday night's another double broadcast with the Blazing Pedals and the American Sim Racing League. Those are side-by-side broadcasts. Monday night's the High Tide Racing League. And we go on there for OMSRL on Tuesday. Premier Sim Racing Sim Gaming Expo Truck Series on Wednesdays. And more as the week goes on. Looks like Posh with Jane is going to be credited with the end-of-line penalty. So that's an interesting call to see that happen. If in fact that's for the point of caution, I don't think he was involved in the caution, so that may be for a different reason. We'll wait and get a word on that later. By the way, I do want to make a note here. I just realized, and I apologize for just realizing, that the gas tanks in these cars are limited down to 50%. So the fuel windows they talked about being like 40 laps, that's 20 laps. So I do want to say thank you to Tony McDaniel for putting that out there and reminding me about the limits on the gas tanks here in the car. So no one is good here on green, in fact. So we'll need to wait and see if anyone can make it around. 1 or 2 more cautions would probably help seal that deal closer. But we'll see if that happens. So it's going to be Ingersoll, Guerrero, Samuel Reed, Paul Peffer, and Aaron Ingersoll. Your top 5. If you want to get caught up on what's happening here at Green Flag TV, look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. It's our fast delivery system. Gives you highlights and notes about every league we broadcast here. So you'll see those. Starting next week, we'll have notes and news about this league as well at the bottom of the ticker. So you can always see what's going on. If you're interested in having your league or special event broadcasted, please head over to greenflagtv.com. You can check out all the information and contact us through the website. And we'll see if we can help make your league an awesome broadcast as well. Derek Watson in the booth. Christian Hill is the guy pressing the buttons and making me look good. And there you see on the side of your screen, positions gained. Look at it again. Ingersoll up 25, Guerrero up 20, Aaron Ingersoll's up 35, by the way. That means he had to have been one of the drivers who had to qualify his way in, if that's the case, because he's 5th plus 35 is 40. So my math tells me that he was part of that heat race. Well, as the odds that come out of turn number 4, the pace car is going to pull down here, and we'll start lap 44 with Barney the flagman waving the green flag. It'll be Todd Ingersoll Jr. getting ready to lead us around here. Austin Guerrero is outside, and green flag is back out. This time a little different here of what we've seen in the past, where the bottom side is the dominant side. just see Austin Guerrero up there all by himself for a while, and now some more cars trying to move up top. As you see Ingersoll make that snap move back to the bottom. That car wiggled pretty hard and then moved back down. That could have been scary, but now it's Ingersoll, Sam Reed, Paul Pepper, your top three here at Daytona. By the way, there's little brother Aaron Ingersoll back and forth. You gotta think what a moment that could be for those two if they could kind of, as Todd said, keep bonding. If they could be 1-2 at Daytona. What a cool thing that would be to have your brother pushing you around, helping you find the win, possibly at Daytona. On back is Larry Blair. That'll be the first car up top. He's getting pushed around by Guerrero. And really this pack is still moving all around. There's Tyler Smith all in the back, by the way. That white car with the sky blue, or yeah, I guess sky blue is a good color for that car. You see the back there? Boy, you see every time that car wiggles in the corner, I'm a little nervous about maybe is there a bump coming that's going to be off center. And of course, bump drafting at Daytona in the corners or at Talladega is always a hot topic. Not every driver prefers it. Some drivers would prefer you don't bump draft in the corner. Some drivers think it's a little too sketchy, a little too scary, a little too risky. It's a risk versus reward conversation. That's what all of Speedway racing is risk versus reward. When does it pay off? When is it too risky? You know, maybe, hey, it's a valid conversation on lap 69, 70. Maybe not on lap 46. Every driver values that conversation a little bit differently, and every driver has their own preference. Some drivers say, hey, lay on my car the whole way around. Some people don't feel comfortable. Some people are happier being the pusher than being the pushy. So different conversations can be had here at Daytona. Beginning lap 47, Ingersoll leads another lap here. Remember, he's up 25 spaces on the track. Sam Reed's up 4. So Sam Reed's the car pushing him around. And there's a new car up front. That's the 57, pardon me. That's Austin Norris up top now. A car we've not mentioned that much tonight. And cautions out again. Going to be pretty far back, and it's going to, oh, there it is. There's the car. Boy, oh boy, that's going to be the 64. The Wolf of Gregory Drace is the car that's going to be involved. So we'll wait a moment here. We'll wait to see what that is going to be caused by, but we know that's going to be one of the cars involved based upon the way that car was parked when we found him in the cameras. So let's go and pull up that Green Flag TV replay machine and take a look. Watch. Oh, there's cars on the inside. There's a car on the inside of that Tennessee Volunteers car. And I didn't get a number or a plate on that car, but that's going to be the cause of the caution on the bottom of the track right there. It's not going to be from Drace. It's going to be the other car who hit the Tennessee car, the multi-toned blue car up front there. That's going to be the cause. My goodness. I mean, that was just, it's a slow car on the bottom. Watch him here. How's this going to turn into the Tennessee car on the bottom? Which I don't understand. I'm trying to see how this is going to play that Jim now. Oh, the Tennessee car comes down and tags him. And then they're going to somehow end up, oh, hello. And then up the hill they go. That's the 52, by the way, on the bottom. That's the car number I was looking for. That is going to be Joshua Holt at the bottom of that. You see Drace involved there. You see the 35, I believe, that white and green car. So lots of cars here involved in our next caution at Daytona. Well, as we said, every time a caution comes around, this fuel window gets a little closer and closer and closer. 23 to go. I think everybody wants to come down this time by. Put some gas in that car and see if they can maybe stretch it to the end of this race. And the 100 car is going to be deemed as the cause of that caution. And there was contact a couple different ways there, but the 100 is being tagged by race control for that caution. So we're going to come on around here and see if anyone maybe wants to pit this time by. Some of these cars, according to my timing and scoring, have not been around in a while. So wait and see who does and doesn't come down. Some of these drivers have not been down here since lap 35, but oh, this is the back straight, so no one's coming down here. All right, well, let's do this. Last time by, we talked with Todd Ingersoll. Let's see if I can find, quote-unquote, little brother Aaron Ingersoll and see what Aaron thinks of how the race is going. Let's go ahead and grab Aaron here. Aaron Ingersoll, welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Boy, oh boy, it's been becoming an up and down race for you. How's the racing out there?
It's been hectic. My nerves have been kind of wild since the beginning because I had to do the heat race and got lucky enough to get the 40th spot, and I've just been trying to work my way towards the front and be in a good spot for the finish.
So we've seen your Bass Pro Shops machine be up as high as like top 4, top 5. Currently you're sitting P16, so with only 20 some laps to go when we go green here, is it just got to be full throttle the rest of the way?
Yeah, essentially it's just going to see how the cars are reacting in front of me. I don't want to get caught in anything, too hectic to where it might take me out of the race. So I might be a little patient at first, see how everything's going to ride. And I guess that, when I see an opening, I'll definitely shoot for it. I definitely want to try to get a podium finish for sure.
Well, green flag's been delayed here for 1 lap, so we'll talk to you a little bit longer here, Aaron. So we heard your brother say he's been involved in iRacing for a good number of years. How long has your iRacing experience been?
To be honest, I maybe raced on my brother's rig a couple of times years ago, and then when my dad had passed away, I live in Tennessee and my brother lives in New York, so I decided to go ahead and get me a setup that way me and my brother could do something that we enjoyed watching with our dad growing up and whatnot, because he loved the sport so much. So it gives us a way to be able to hang out and bond and try to be a little closer together.
So I got 2 last questions for you. One is, when we talked to your brother a minute ago on the broadcast, he called you the, quote, little brother. How do you feel about that?
That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I'll always be his little brother. He'll always be my big brother. It is what it is. I'm all about family, so it's no big deal to me.
Well, my last question is all about family. We all have those talks as fans about, what would you do to win a Daytona race? What would you do to win a 500? So I'm just going to ask you now, if it comes down to Todd and Aaron 1-2 in the last lap, are you pushing your brother to win, or are you trying to win this race?
I'd push him until I had a run, and then we're drag racing to the finish line.
Are you wrecking your brother for the win?
I don't know if I could do that, to be honest. I think I'd be happy enough with a 2nd place finish to see my brother get a win. It doesn't mean that much to me to get a win. I'd be happy enough to see him get the checker, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. Well, listen, Aaron, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully we get to know you throughout the season, and good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you. That is Aaron Ingersoll, part of the Ingersoll Racing team. So we talked to both the brothers, and hey, Aaron seemed okay being the little brother. So if he's okay with that, then hey, we're all okay with that. But it's, again, kind of cool to hear they've bonded through sim racing since the loss of their father. So here we are. The caution was extended. We're still double file. We're now 20 to go. So anything can happen from here. As we said, we think those fuel tanks are about 20 laps long. So from here, we'll probably wait and see if anyone wants to try to lift. You can ride in this draft at about 70, 80% throttle, maybe save a couple laps of gas. So you don't necessarily have to be full throttle all night long. We'll see if anyone wants to do that, or if they just want to run it hard and stop on green, or if one more caution just brings all that down to be a moot point. Well, this is the first of many races on the Average Joe's Sim Racing League schedule this season. This is not the only race, so we'll be here every Thursday night live here on Green Flag TV. And I believe next week we're going to Sin City next, if I remember right. We're going to Vegas for round 2. A much different track, a classic mile-and-a-half track, lots of speed, lots of moves, lots of grooves. So we'll wait and see how that race plays out 1 week from tonight. Right now, we need to worry about Daytona. We need to worry about these last 19 laps under green. It's now a different top 5. It's Ron Millam, Blake Hewlett, Brian Cook is back up top, Ryan Castleberry, and Terrence Murphy up top. So a much different top 5. We saw some pit stops happen there under that caution, move some cars to the back. But now it's Ron Millam for the first time tonight, taking us to the green flag here at Daytona. This time by out of turn 2, both lanes more equal than what we've seen in the past. No big gaps in the draft, so everyone's trying to fight hard here with 19 to go. It's Millam, Cook, Hewlett, Castleberry, and Weaver, your top 5. See that first car, it's got a bit of a gap. That's Ron Millam, your leader. Then it's side by side. Cook and Hewlett on back 2 by 2 for about 7 rows here at Daytona. There's the possible take for the lead right there. There goes Blake Hewlett up top. That, I believe, would be at the line. Hewlett, he's got an amazing push out of turn 4 as he out for the first time tonight, leads the lap, now pulls down here and leaves his drafting partner in the 6, Michael Harrington, up top with Tyler Smith behind him. We'll see different cars moving top to bottom. There's a wreck. Oh my gosh, a big attempted lane change. There was no clearing. Yellow flag is out with 18 to go. And this likely will be a big one. Boy, oh boy, that happened quick. Lots of lane changes happening. Lots of drivers trying to find position. Just out of nowhere, that happened instantly. Let's take a look at Todd Ingersoll. I think this may be not a cause of the caution, definitely involved in the caution. So we'll wait and see, and we'll spool up your green flag TV replay machine in just a moment here, and we'll wait and see what happens here on the track. Here it goes. It's going to be Ingersoll. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. We'll see a lane change happening here out of the corner. So we'll play this along here. That's the 38 car you're looking at. There's the 101 up ahead. And we're going to find a lane change happen in just a moment. There were 3. Well, there it is. That might have been the car up top moving down. So we'll wait and see how race control calls that and what happens there. But boy, that 38 went for a wild ride through the grass, kept it on the bottom and stayed off the track. And it's going to be the 101 car up top. Oh, that's close. I don't know. Whether you think it's the 38 of Ingersoll, whether you think it's the 101 of Justin Day, you can comment in the YouTube chat and tell us what you think. Because I do not know. Honestly, that would be a tough call for race control to figure that out. We know the 5 of Terrence Murphy got involved. That Mountain Dew machine, look at that. It's going to kind of wait for the C's to part. He'll push on through. The 3 is going to get involved. There's the 60 got involved. He got a car across the front of his hood. Boy, oh boy, that was Travis Hunt, by the way. And Hunt has since called it a day right there. So the Hunt's race is done after that wreck. Wow, look at this ride again one more time. That's scary in the bottom of that track. That could have been way, way worse. And boy. Right here you see some pit stops happening down pit road. We saw the 38 use one of his 2 fast repairs available. One of the rules in this league, you get 2 fast repairs on a super speedway. Only 1 at every other type of track. So next week, not as big of a leeway for accidents and mistakes to happen here on the track. Well, all night long we made it a habit of talking with the drivers and catching up and trying to get different stories. different perspective what's happening. So let's talk with our current race leader. Another Ingersoll driver, actually. So this team's getting lots of time in the broadcast booth tonight. Let's welcome an Ingersoll Racing driver, Larry Blair. Larry, you're leading the race. How does that feel?
Feels pretty good. We've been paying attention to what's been going on, just trying to use good fuel strategy, watching our estimated laps, and I'm a little bit to the good, so hopefully we get a good clean run here. And I don't know if we're going to be able to finish it out on a green flag run because we've had a lot of cautions, but you never know what's going to happen till the green flag flies.
The Kentucky natives here out front at Daytona. We talked about the Tennessee car earlier, but boy, Kentucky and Florida, another little SEC rivalry. So kind of, we won't tell the fans that Kentucky boys leading at Daytona.
Okay, then. I'm going to try to put it in the checkered flag, though. I'll tell you that.
All right. Well, Larry, well, listen, good luck the rest of the night, and we'll hopefully talk to you later.
All right. Have a good broadcast, and hope everybody's enjoying the race.
Hopes as well. Thanks, Larry. That is Larry Blair, the Kentucky native here, leading at Daytona, having a good time. Man, to hear just the smile in his voice. That's something you can just the smile, the laugh, the giggle. He is one happy leader here at Daytona. Well, as we've done the rest of the night, after the pace car lights go out, let's re-rack the names at the front for you again. It's now Larry Blair, Bridger Webb, Jonathan Proctor, Danny Jackson, Jacob Bagley, your top 5, Austin Norris back in 6. The rest of your top 10, Stephen Blevins, Brian Matthews, Michael Weaver, and Blake Hewlett, your top 10. So this time by, you see more and more drivers starting to head their way down pit road here. A lot of drivers pitted there on lap 55. I think it's going to be basically 9th on back who pitted. So Larry seemed to think he was confident he has the fuel to make it from here. That would be an interesting call. We're told the fuel tanks are only about 20 laps, but he last pitted on lap 42. Now there's been a bunch of cautions since then, so the possibility of saving fuel exists, but that would be a lot of saving if that happens. Well, here we go. Once again, the pace car is going to come around. It's going to make that left-hand turn. This time, for the first time, Larry Blair gets to be the driver who's going to lead us around here. He'll wait for Barney the flagman to grab that green flag and wave it. There's the beautiful camera view at Daytona. There it is. And we are green flag racing. Driver who thought he could save the fuel, Larry Blair is riding right up front. That'll be the least amount of fuel saving you could do, but he's now got cars running him down pretty quickly here. He's got cars to the outside. That's Bridger Webb, that liquid smoke machine. He's on the outside. He wants to lead a lap at Daytona. He's getting pushed around from the back, and we're now 2 deep, a good amount of the way through the field. Boy, look at that big gap though. We got the first set of cars, and there's a big gap in the field, probably about 16th on back. You see, not everyone's as excited to get moving. Some drivers want to lay back and maybe avoid a wreck. Maybe they're out of fast repairs. Maybe they're scared another wreck is coming. But is there probably 3 or 4 different packs throughout the field here at Daytona? See some love in the YouTube chat for the 18 of Danny Jackson, currently riding third to line up in the wall, unfortunately, spun around. This will be another yellow. That looked to be a big spiral in the back there. Sorry, that's the 18 of Danny Jackson. Who was the car that got turned around? What was he? Oh boy, there's the 51 involved. There's that yellow and black machine. There's, oh boy, lots and lots of cars involved in this incident. Boy, I think we're going to see it's going to be a case of pushing the pusher is what's going to happen in front of this field here. That's going to spawn this record. The moment of caution by the Bridger Webb is your new leader. So he will officially lead laps at Daytona. As we now see that number 81 machine is going to limp on around here and probably find his way down pit road in that red, white, and blue machine. Well, let's go ahead and find the replay machine and see what happens. And there'll be a couple of reviews to look at here, and we'll see what happens. Look at the top. It's going to be on the outside. It's going to be a push right here. It's going to be a push and a pusher from the car in third in line. Going to get that second car wiggled up into the wall and on around. And look at this big calamity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars off track. Some of them taking the bus stop. I'm sorry, the Le Mans chicane. But no, it's the bus stop at Daytona. Oh, 2 of them hard in the wall there. So again, it's the 57 pushing that car up front. It's turning him around. Boy, oh boy. Here's another look at it. I called it the 18 on, that's the 10. By the way, I said it was the 18 on the broadcast, live in a moment. That's 18 to the inside. It's the 10 that's going to get turned around. And just a couple of bad bumps, a couple of off-center bumps, and up in the wall, hard, and back down the track it's going to go. Oh, wow, wow. Well, here's some more cars down pit road. This, for these guys, would definitely clear up any concerns, confusion, frustration, math, whatever you want to call it. This will make everyone pretty much good on gas. Comes down right here. Well, people in the YouTube chat have been asking for it, so let's give the fans what they want. Let's do another driver interview. This time, let's grab the driver who's currently in the lead in that 66 car, the Liquid Smoke Iced Tea, Bridger Webb. Welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much. How's the race so far?
Hey, it's good, but it's stressful. Just trying to play the fuel game, trying to be as cautious as I can, and I'm kind of banking on a caution here so I can get some more fuel to finish the race. But all in all, we're doing pretty good, man. Crawled back from the back, and here we are.
Yeah, so I said you were leading. You're actually second in line here, but amazing run here. As you said, you're up 5 spots. You qualify pretty well here. So we talked a little bit in the broadcast about this Liquid Smoke Iced Tea deal you got. You want to talk more about it? How did it come to be? What contest did you win? Talk about it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. So Liquid Death Iced Tea is a company that I've been following since they existed back 2016, 2017. They put out a contest because they're now the official iced tea of NASCAR. So I put out a video for this contest. I ended up winning. So I am the 2025 Liquid Death Pro Driver, one of 3. Shout out to Tyler and Tatum in Texas and Las Vegas. But yeah, there's 3 of us out here repping this car. So yeah, I'm just happy to bring it to the virtual track.
And so I was explaining to people earlier that the car you have in iRacing tonight, this is obviously a different model of car you have in real life, but this is the design of your everyday car, right?
Yes, what you're seeing on track is exactly what's on my 2020 Ford Fusion.
Right, well, listen, good luck the rest of the way. Only about 15 or so laps when we get moving here. Actually, 10 laps to go when we get moving here. We'll let you get back focused in, and good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Can't wait to talk to you after the race.
We're hoping so. That's Bridger Webb. And as I said, again, considered a pro driver for Liquid Death. And Bridger, of course, part of AJSRL, one of the numerous race teams you'll find here in the Average Joe's Sim Racing League. Well, we're quickly getting down lap by lap to the end of this race. And I can tell you right now, the temperature is picked up in the driver's seat. Earlier I said it was very nice, very cordial, very calm, very friendly. The temperature's picked up. I'm not sure we're at full heat yet, but we're definitely maybe at a simmer, I'd say, is where some of the voices are in the voice chat. So tell some drivers getting a little anxious, getting a little antsy as this night goes on. once again, thanks for hanging out here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway with us. Thank you for hanging out here live on Green Flag TV. We're now at 10 laps to go. We're now down to the single digits. It'll be 9 to go at the line. Let's see how this goes. Larry Blair, part of Ingersoll Racing, is still going to lead this race. Bridger Webb from AJSRL on the outside. Green flag is out. Once again, 9 to go. Seeing a little bit of movement up and down the lanes, but right now the biggest difference is that gap that is just up top. You see Bridger Webb's falling back by about 3 cars to the front of the bottom lane. That's Larry Blair, Danny Jackson, Blake Hewlett on the inside. Hewlett thought about moving up and they said, no, I'm happy on the bottom. So now it's Bridger Webb trying to get a push on the outside lane here. Trying to see what he can make happen. Oh, there goes Hewlett up top. Almost chops off the nose of Webb. But now not fully in front. Now they're 3 wide for this position. Bridger Webb got pushed up to the wall. And Webb is a man without a country. No draft up there in the high lane. Wrecking behind him. Yellow's out. This is a big one. That might be the biggest one so far. My goodness. Oh, they're still wrecking. Ooh. I don't know that all this is going to fit in one replay clip. I think this might be a multi-look scenario for what happened. Boy, Bridger Webb got the luck of the draw. That wreck literally happened right behind his back bumper. That'd be one of the cool views to see, is behind Bridger Webb, because he's going to see all of it in his rearview mirror happen in an instant. Boy, oh boy, we're going to now have hopefully one last restart to go. We'll wait and see if they can keep it green and what happens from there. But let's go ahead and cue up the replay machine and watch this in multiple angles. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be a couple of bad bumps, I think. That's the 13 right behind us, I believe. And just going to get pretty squirrely all the way around. Oh, there's the 3 coming up. Got in contact with the 9. And look at it just explode on back. There's Austin Guerrero to the bottom. He's going to get on through. And then I think on back, we just kind of followed that blue and white car back. You'll see more and more cars start to pile in as this goes on, because cars, this is in slow-mo. It looks simple to avoid it in slow-mo, but when it's in real time, it's going to be hard. There's the 100 car, that Tennessee Volunteers car. And more involved. Boy, apparently it takes a while for the rest of this wreck to form, because I saw a bunch of cars piled in live, at full speed, but when is it finally going to pile in? Sort of a moment of anticipation here. I think it might be on back behind us. You see the mellow yellow car. There it is. So like I said, this will be more than one view of this replay, because there's going to be multiple wrecks involved. This will be a bit of a madhouse of race control, I would think, to figure this out. We'll wait for a moment, see if we can find a separate replay here. There's the big pile, and oh God, cars up over on 2 wheels. Cars turn sideways. Watch it here. Watch something over your screen. It's going to explode. There's the first wreck. You see it right there. And they just keep piling in. There's nowhere to go. You're at full speed trying to get avoided, and you just can't. You found yourself in it, and then a car comes down, makes more contact, and it's just going to keep branching out, just like a fully grown tree. There's many branches of this wreck. And boy, there it is. Keeps on happening. The Mountain Dew machines turned around. The 4 cars turned around. Ugh. Well, here we are. We're now 6 to go at Daytona. Likely we'll restart with 4 to go, I would think. Probably next time by should be your 1 to go signal from the pace car. It's Larry Blair, Danny Jackson, Michael Harrington, Samuel Reed, and Ron Millum. Now your top 5. So you have to think now for Larry Blair, the smile's got to be getting bigger. You heard that smile in his voice earlier. Well, now every time a wreck happens, every time a caution comes out, it's 1 less green flag lap that he has to worry about getting past here, under green flag conditions. Well, let's do this. Let's continue the carousel of getting to know some of the drivers of the Average Joe's Sim Racing League. Let's talk to P3 Michael Harrington. Let's go and welcome him into the booth. Maybe get to know Michael a little bit. Michael Harrington, welcome into the Green Flag TV broadcast booth. Currently sitting in P3, we see how much fun you having tonight.
Well, this has been a blast.
So now you find yourself in P3. That puts you up 5 spots. A pretty good qualifying tonight. So you must have been happy you didn't have to do that 5-lap heat.
Yeah, absolutely. We did the pre-race last week Thursday, and qualified well. I was happy to qualify well again. Should be sitting pretty good here. Got my teammate behind me, so hopefully we can hook up and get a good finish here.
So you told us in our pre-broadcast notes, you said you love all things sports and you love going to the local dirt track. So if you don't want to say, you don't have to, but what are some of the local dirt tracks you enjoy going to?
One of the big ones would be Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. That's one of the best around there, and Beaver Dam Raceway. Those are my 2 favorites.
Fair enough. And you said you love all things sports. So if I had to ask you your favorite non-racing sport, what would that be?
Baseball is my big one. Otherwise, if I'm not playing, it would be college football or hockey. I'm kind of all sports.
Well, I'm assuming, pardon me for saying, since you're a Wisconsin native, it means you're probably a Badger.
I am for sure, yes, absolutely.
Well, then I'll just frustrate you by saying OH. And that'll be it. All right, Michael, well, listen, you're certainly sitting at P3, and good luck the rest of the way, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're very welcome. That is Michael Harrington, part of Gulf Coast Racing. We'll get him lined back up with his team so he can get back into his team comms here as this race goes on. Throughout the rest of the season, we do want to get to know the drivers of the league. We'll do some more interviews and kind of get to know them better. During a super speed, it's a little bit harder to do, to kind of get that focus on the side things when there's so much happening on the track. So throughout the season, you get to learn more and more about these drivers. Well, we're going to come around here, currently at 5 to go, double files. The lights in the pace car should be out this time. So here we go. Larry Blair, one more time, as he's done a few times now, gets to lead us around. The pace car pulls down, possibly for the final time. Larry Blair waits. There's the green flag. We're live, green flag racing at Daytona. This time by, you see that Larry Blair got a beautiful push from Michael Harrington. We just talked to him. That Wisconsin native wants to get around the Kentucky boy. Wants to see if he can win this race, the season opener at Daytona. They got a big gap back there to Danny Jackson, Sam Reed, Ingersoll, and others. So again, this looks like that old tandem style draft. We saw Tony Stewart good at it. We've seen Dale Jr. good at it back in the day. There's a wreck on back. And yellow is out. Once again, that I wait for all the cars to get involved. That's going to be definitely Brian Cook up there and others. They're still wrecking on back. Ingersoll Jr. was up there. That's pretty sure that's got to be probably the end of, not the end of his day, but I think he's out of fast repairs at this point. Ooh, all the way down the track there. Well, now we are in to overtime. So from here, we have a green-white checker scenario. So come around after these pit stops here. We'll see who has fast repairs left. That's going to be an interesting question. Well, let's watch this replay first. There you see Ingersoll already up on the wall. Got Austin Guerrero was the 45 that's back up there. Boy, look at them all piled in. The 37. Brian Cook was in there. But here's the initial contact. There's Austin Guerrero. That's not an even bump. You have to be even on the bumper, Austin. And got Ingersoll turned around. And from there, all hell breaks loose. Bridger Webb's involved in it. Yeah, a bunch of people we talked to tonight involved in this one. boy. Oh boy, this is just a lot of calamity here, and this will set us up for a green-white checkers. What's going to happen? We'll line them up. We'll take the green flag. Come around and we'll look for the white flag. If the white flag happens, whatever happens, happens. If not, then we'll rack him up onto the pace car again. Well, as we get ready to take you into green flag overtime racing, let's take one more commercial break here on Green Flag TV, and we'll be back in just a moment for the conclusion of tonight's race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here live on Green Flag TV as we get ready to start our first of two green-white checker attempts here at Daytona. So, again, as we said before the commercial, we're going to line it up here. Barney the flag man will wave the green flag. From there, if we take the white flag, all bets are off. Whatever happens, happens. We'll race it all the way back around here at this beautiful 2.5 mile complex. If that doesn't happen, we have a caution. We'll rack it up one more time and try for a second time. And at that point, whatever happens, happens. The race is over. So here we are, the World Center of Racing, Daytona, the home of the Daytona 500, Daytona 24, many other special events across the NASCAR and IMSA calendars, and many other events throughout the year as well as that. So let's re-rack your top five. Larry Blair, Michael Harrington, Danny Jackson, Sam Reed, Ron Millen's your top five. Michael Weaver, Justin Day, Mike Presley, and on back your top eight. Then we got the two Harringtons, senior and junior, 9th and 10th. What a story that would be if those two could somehow find a way to work, Heatons, not Harringtons, is going to be the way to find if they could work their way to the front here. That's the 12 and the 37 back in 9th and 10th place. Of course, you see a wide variety of ranges of positions gained and lost up and down the field. So you see some drivers up, a few drivers down. Steve Blevins down 11. He started P5. He's down to P16. But lots more up arrows than down arrows at the front of the field. Yeah, all the down arrows will be down further the field. Those will be the cars that are likely wrecked out or having a hard time. By the way, I do believe that Austin Guerrero was given the credit for the caution. End of line penalty for the 45. So he'll have a long way to go if he wants to be in the picture here at the front of the field at the end of this race. Well, again, this is starting to feel familiar. Larry Blevins, front of the field. Larry Blair, pardon me, is going to wait for this field. I'm starting to get last names mixed up here. At the front of the field, it's going to come on down, and what in the blue is happening there? Of course, put out lane. Everything seems to be good. We're going to go green flag racing. And here we go, green, white checker conditions. Blair gets the run. Got Harrington to the outside. Danny Jackson, Samuel Reed back in row 2. Remember, we're looking for the white flag. If that happens, all bets are off. Whatever happens, happens. Let's see if they can get there at Daytona. There's a big bump down the back straight. That's Samuel Reed pushing Michael Harrington to the front. Harrington, the Wisconsin native we just talked to, now leads at Daytona. They both get down. Harrington's going to try and guard that bottom lane the whole way around. That's the best way to defend the lead here. The question now is when or if Samuel Reed decides to make a move. Here's Larry Blair. He wants the lead back. He's going to make a move to the top or come around out of 4. If we touch the white flag, we are going around one more time, and we will. This is official. 1 lap to go at Daytona. Boy, and look at that small gap to Harrington back to the field. We'll see if that draft matters. Harrington up to the top, now to the bottom, trying to control both lanes. The third lane's forming up top. That's going to be the 2. That's Michael Weaver coming. He's got the 5 with him. That's a move to the top of the field. They're going to try and push. Samuel Reed's trying to push the car in the bottom. This is now a 2x2 fight down the back straight. Little less than a mile to go, and that move up top is happening. That move is happening fast. That is the 2 car. That's the 5 car. They're both there on Weaver. That's the 30 of Larry Blair out of turn 4. Who makes the move? Where does it happen? Does the 5 move? So far, no moves yet. Wrecking in the back, and it's going to be a victory for the 2 car at Daytona. There it is. Michael Weaver, the driver of the 2 car, is your first winner. Got the Moza there. It's got a bunch of different sponsors all across the front and back of that car, and he's going to bring them all to victory lane for the season opening race for the Average Joe's Sim Racing League. Part of Queen City Motorsports means he's from Cincinnati. So the Ohio native, the fellow Buckeye, is going to win here at Daytona. Let's watch him burn it down if he does here as he comes around to the front straight. So the 2 of Weaver, the 5 of Murphy, both are going to burn it down on the front straight. The 2 is going to use the wall and put all the smoke down. The 5 will do the same without the smoke, without the wall. There'll be no mosquitoes at the front straight of Daytona. Again, congratulations to Mike Weaver, the winner here of the race. And I believe now we have our official race results ready. Let's take a look top to bottom at the grid. Michael Weaver, your winner by less than 1/10 of a second. He's got Larry Blair. Sorry, he's got Terrence Murphy behind him with Larry Blair in 3rd. Then you got Michael Harrington and back in P4. Sam Reed in P5. Danny Jackson in P6 with Ron Hylam in P7. Russell Heaton Sr. is up in P8. Art Milnes in P9. And then Justin Day is back in P10. These are cars still only a second off the lead as Mike Straminsky in 11th, Tyler Smith's back in 12th, Stephen Blevins, Russell Heaton Jr., and Brian Matthews rounding your top 15. Then it's Trenton Bestgrove, Todd Ingersoll Jr., Joshua Jane, Richard Wilson, and Jacob Bagley running at your top 20. 21st, Justin McCurdy with Dan Adams, Blake Hewlett, John Miles, and Austin Guerrero rounding out your top 25. Austin Norris, Douglas Ivey, Mike Presley, Fred Chase, and Ryan Castleberry rounds out your top 30. And your last page of results here, 31st, Aaron Ingersoll, 1 lap down. Jonathan Dominic, same thing, 1 lap down, as was Gregory Drace and Akari King Wright. Then 4 or more laps down, Brian Cook, Paul Pfeffer, Bridger Webb, Joshua Holt, Clark Jarvster, and Jonathan Proctor. That is a look at all 40 cars, top to bottom look at your Down the Rabbit Hole podcast 175 grid here at Daytona. Well, let's go ahead and begin our post-race show and get a talk with all 3 drivers up on the podium, and there's no one better to start with than the man who sort of came out of nowhere in that 2 car, got a move on the high side and made it all happen. Michael Weaver, you are a winner at Daytona.
Woo! Yeah, I can't believe it. It was kind of a wild day.
I got to give all credit to my teammate. We linked up last final laps, pushed me to the win. That was great.
The up 15 spots means you started P16 on the day, so right in the middle of the Hornets and kind of had to deal with it. So, what do you think led to you being able to win this race at the end?
The cautions felt right. I could get. I was good on fuel with like 18 to go, and I kept avoiding wrecks. I mean, that's all I can really give credit to. And then, yeah, my teammate, I think he was like 30th with 10 to go. Somehow he found his way up right behind me, and we got it done.
Was there a doubt in your mind the 5 was going to push the whole way around, or were you concerned Terrence was going to try to go for the win?
In the back of my mind, there's a little bit of worry, but we were talking the whole time, and once we got through 4, I was pretty confident he was going to let me have it.
Michael, well, again, congrats on the win. Season opening, series opening race at Daytona. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or give a thank you to?
Thanks to all my family watching, and thanks to my teammate Terry Murphy.
There you go. Well, listen, I hope you have a great night. Enjoy the win. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, that is Michael Weaver, driver of the 2 car. He comes in P1. Now let's talk to the driver who pushed him around to the win. Let's talk with Terrence Murphy. Terrence, you and that 5 car were up and down the field today. I mean, obviously you started up front, but you were kind of all throughout the field.
Yeah, the pit stops with the fuel mileage that we get is tough to have any confidence staying out with only 7 laps remaining. Once I got stuck back there, I couldn't seem to dodge everything that was going on. But a couple late incidents got me back up front, and everybody bailed on Weaver up top, and I found him. We made a big old push. Hell yeah.
So we talked to, obviously, Michael a second ago, and he said he was pretty confident. But I'm going to ask you, were you committed to the back bumper the whole time? Did you think about moving, or were you just committed to pushing the teammate?
Well, I'm not going to say I didn't think about it. But the guy behind me was going to stay with him if I went for it. So he's pushed me to a couple wins in the past. I'll give him this one.
Well, listen, it was a pleasure watching you race tonight. Anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Oh, all good. Appreciate you, brothers.
Well, appreciate you as well. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next week.
All right, I'll see you.
All right, that is Terrence Murphy, driver of the number 5 car. And last on the podium, we talked to him earlier, the Kentucky native, Larry Blair. Larry, a P3 run's a solid finish today.
Yeah, after starting 10th, out of that many drivers in the lobby, I feel pretty satisfied with that run. And I kind of lagged back on that restart there. The final restart, I was hoping that those guys would be on my bumper to help me out with the draft a little bit, but I lagged back just a little bit too much, and Michael got up there and got the win. So him and Terrence, their teammates, they had a good run there, good strategy at the end, and he deserved the win. So I give him congratulations. That was a good run on their part.
Well, a great run for you. Unfortunately, maybe not a great run for all of your Ingersoll teammates. So kind of get to have the Memorial Day weekend to recoup, and maybe a better run next week. So anyone you want to give a shout out to or give thanks to?
Yeah, I'd like to give thanks to all the veterans out there, all my fellow veterans. I'm a veteran myself, and like to give thanks for all their service, and remember all those that didn't make it home and give the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And like to thank my wife for letting me get on here and run on iRacing still after all the years I've been on here, and my teammates Aaron, Todd, and Art. We had pretty good runs, and then they ended up having some bad luck towards the end of the race, getting caught up in a couple of those crashes, and I was the lucky one that kind of avoided them all. So, and really just like to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I know Green Flag TV is a real good outfit, and you guys always have good shows, and I've watched your all's broadcasts in the past, and yep, I think I'm going to enjoy this league. All the guys seem to get along pretty decent and pretty good. They got a real good format on Discord, and it's pretty organized, so I'm looking forward to the season and going back and watching this race after we get up here. But yeah, I'd like to thank all you guys.
Well, Larry, on behalf of myself and everyone that's watching, everyone in the chat, everyone part of Green Flag TV, first off, thank you for your service. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Okay, have a good one, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. All right, that is Larry Blair. Finished P3, did the Kentucky native. Well, what a finish it was. What a great opening for the Average Joe Sim Racing League. And we saw many passes, some wrecks, some beats, some bangs, some incredible moves. But at the end of the day, we saw Michael Weaver win at Daytona. Well, if you miss any part of this race, you can catch this race and every race from the Average Joe's Sim Racing League here on the Green Flag TV YouTube channel. For Christian Hill down in the booth pushing all the buttons, I am Derek Watson saying thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Stay tuned. Don't close that tab because as soon as we're done, we're going to take you over to the Speed Cup Series. They're currently about in the halfway point of the race at Charlotte. We'll join that race in progress.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.